Tonight, the Japanese ambassador to Ghana, Himeno Chitomo, has disclosed plans to significantly increase investments in Ghana. According to him, plans by the Japanese government to open its external trade organization in Accra could facilitate this. He spoke to Joy Business after the inauguration of the Ghana-Japan Business Promotion Committee in Accra.
Ambassador to Ghana, Himeno Chitomo, spoke to Joy Business after the inauguration of the Ghana-Japan Business Promotion Committee, which held its first meeting in Accra. He said the Japan External Trade Organization office, which will be opened in Ghana, will be used to maximize business opportunities in the country by getting more Japanese firms into Ghana. There are about 54 Japanese businesses in Ghana, a number that is likely to increase after the official opening of the office.
We highlight the opportunities of Ghana, as well as assuring the Japanese companies that whatever challenges they face in Ghana, which exist, to be honest, but the government of Ghana and the friends in Ghana are paying attention to overcome such challenges. With that, as ambassador of Japan, I'm confident we will be able to invite more and more Japanese companies, and when it starts, has attraction, more things to follow. With a big news, such as the opening of the JETRO office, Trade and Investment Promotion Office of the Government of Japan, opening in Accra, Ghana. This also attracts a great attention among the Japanese business community. So here we have big opportunities.
The Ghana-Japan Business Promotion Committee meeting, which was co-chaired by CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, highlighted some challenges faced by Japanese businesses in Ghana and plans to address them. Yofi Grant is optimistic that the move will open up the country for more investments from Japan.
There are some Japanese companies here. The Japanese population in Ghana is about 380, but it's mainly corporates. We also need to open the doors for tourism and other parts of the economy that are not traditional. And so those are all parts of what will happen during the deliberations. Thank you.
Any specific areas that they are looking at?
Of course, I mean, Japan is known for efficiency and, shall I say, quality. So the manufacturing space, the industrial space, there's technology as well. But there's also arts and culture.
The committee is a high-level partnership mechanism aimed at facilitating mutual investment, trade, and business interests between Ghana and Japan.
The new managing director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Kwame Agyemang-Budu, says its debt owed Gridco is a legacy debt and should be paid by government.
We are going to have a collection unit, constant team that they will go to all our debtors to collect their money that they've not been paid. We will make sure that collectors are given or assigned to a certain area constantly. Every Monday to Friday, that will be their duties. Because many times when we leave the debt for long, it becomes difficult for the customers to pay. So by visiting them constantly, we'll make them pay a little bit so that it doesn't become burden on them. We owe Gridco, we owe other companies, and other companies owe us. Currently, whatever we owe Gridco, we are paying them on time, weekly basis. We have some set amount that we have to pay Gridco every
How much
week.
is it?
That one, I cannot say it. No. We pay them on time every week. What the debt that they are talking about is something it's like we call it legacy debt. That which the government is taking care of that. There was a retreat last week at the Abokobi whereby all the stakeholders gathered to see how they can resolve this issue. But the current bills, we are paying them on time every week.
Kwame Agyemang-Budu is worried the current legislation establishing ECG is not punitive enough to stop illegalities being perpetrated by consumers.
We are going to create a cross-regional units. By cross-regional units, when there is an alert of illegalities, we will not send staff from the same region or the same locality. For example, if you have an alert that there's an illegality going on in Kumasi, you send some team from Accra to go and sweep that neighborhood. Again, we also try to make sure that our LI 1816, which governs our work, is reviewed and become very stringent. Our LI is not so punitive that would deter people from stealing. Therefore, I will request the Cabinet to review the LI 1816 to make it more punitive so that it will deter people from stealing. In other neighboring countries, if you steal, you can end up in 5-year minimum jail. Here, we don't have that much punitive action on the LI, so people take advantage. We want to make sure it's restrictive and it will deter people from stealing from our sources.
In other news tonight, scientists at the Crops Research Institute of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research is pushing for the adoption of common beans for industrial and nutritional value. Dr. James Asibo says lessons from Ghana's neighbors suggest that crop can boost the country's gross domestic product as well as address iron and zinc deficiencies in diets. Lava Films Kusideba explores how the country can tap into common beans and its potential.
Today, students from Kwadaso Agric College are on a visit to a common bean farm at Crops Research Institute. It's an open day and many farmers are also in attendance. Doctors Louise Butari of the International Center for Tropical Agriculture and James Asibo of the Crops Research Institute take them through cultivation and benefits of common bean. Millions of farmers, many of them women, across the globe, cultivate the crop for domestic consumption and commercial purposes.
Common bean is different from our traditional cowpea because there are two different crops. It's not what we call a variety of cowpea. This one is common bean or dry beans in some countries. But the ones that are popular in this country, common in this country, is cowpea. They are two different crops.
Over 2 billion people in developing countries suffer malnutrition due to iron and zinc deficiency. A 2015 report by the Ghana Statistical Service shows 66% of children between 6 and 59 months, as well as 42% of women, are anemic. Iron deficiency affects half of Africa's population by way of poor growth, impaired cognitive development, and maternal mortality. Experts believe common beans can be an inexpensive solution to such nutritional challenges. Dr. Evelyn Edukwatin is food scientist.
All the products here have been made from these pre-cooked beans. So right here at this point, we have meat substitutes where we have products that are similar to what we use in our small chops or in our fast food joints. So we have different levels of substitution of the beans. Here we have, it is like a beef burger, but it's actually 100% beans. There is no meat in this, and this is suitable for vegetarians. High protein, high minerals.
Beans are becoming a tradable commodity on domestic and international markets. Demand in many African countries are hardly met by domestic production. A few exceptions are Ethiopia, Rwanda, Uganda, and Tanzania, who are net exporters.
We use the Ethiopian example because Ethiopia adopted the crop recently, and for them as a new crop, they put it in a window for cash and for export, and especially what we call white PB beans. Is the white color beans. You see the small white you see there, and they only grow the crop for restaurant in a dish, but also for export.
As such, bean production needs to be increased by addressing constraints and inefficiencies in cultivation and activities along the value chain. Crops Research Institute is undertaking a project aimed at reducing poverty among smallholder farmers.
The Crop Research Institute started evaluating common bean varieties from International Center for Agriculture, International Center for Tropical Agriculture for about 10 years now. We receive about 400 accessions of seeds from PABRA, Pan-African Bean Research Alliance, International Center for Tropical Agriculture, and other partners. And after evaluating for several years, we released 4 varieties in 2016. Since then, we have been conducting demonstration fields with farmers across the country. And now we want to promote the marketing aspect of the crop.
This will be achieved by adopting the bean corridor approach, that is, targeting interventions along the bean value chain. Initiatives cover access to good quality seed, climate resilient, high yielding, nutritious, market-driven varieties, as well as complementary crop management practices. Agronomist Dr. Stephen Yabua.
Common bean is a new crop to our environment, and one of the things we are doing here is to exploit opportunities to increase productivity of the crop. So under the integrated crop management component of the PABRA project, we are also trying to see how we can also use granular fertilizer to improve the productivity. So we are not just looking at foliar fertilizers, because granular fertilizer is the most common fertilizer available to farmers. So we are seeing how different rates of NPK, urea, and other forms of fertilizer, such as organic fertilizer sources, can also help improve the productivity of common bean. So we have set up a different experiment where we are looking at different rates of zinc, different rates of urea, NPK, organic fertilizers, different organic fertilizer sources from different companies to see how they can help improve productivity of the crop. Our initial results shows that if you add nutrients to the soils where you are doing cultivation of common bean, it helps a lot because the yields are always improved.
The project will raise bean production volume and quality to enhance trade-based enterprises to promote utilization of marketable bean. Dr. Patricia Pinamaya Champon is social economist.
What they are getting, like the germination, is good. And now, at least those that got the product, they know that they can produce common bean just as they produce cowpea. So now we know that suspicion that it is not going to do well, that problem has been solved now. What we are also doing with the marketing aspect is to try to bring in the big processing companies and also get markets from outside.
Students and farmers are impressed about what they've heard so far.
And our
sister days in Sudia. There's a dream Biano. So the all comes 15th August now, which means we are studies there is a new best October ending, and not just a beans and so over the years we've been concentrating on the cowpea, which is the one we commonly call beans. But now today we've learned that the common beans is the one we should refer as beans.
I would like to cultivate some of the beans, and then I will use it to formulate some different types of food, even not for only human beings, but for the animals.
Dr. James Asibo is courting industry interest in the common bean.
That was Kwesi Deborah's report. Let's turn to another crop. The plantain crop has the potential of raking in revenue. That's if investment is made in processing. Tonight on the Joy Business Van, we trace the stories of 2 entrepreneurs adding value to the staple and making it more appealing.
Traffic and you feel like snacking on something, chances are that you may decide on plantain chips or perhaps kelewele, the spicy fried plantain cubes. There's always demand for these snacks, yet there is little investment in growing and processing the crop. Two entrepreneurs are, however, finding ways of improving what we usually see by the roadside.
So this is Sparks. Yes, welcome to Sparks Foods and Beverages.
A busy kitchen.
A very, very busy kitchen.
So what's cooking?
Right now we have some plantain chips cooking and some coconuts cooking alongside. And we're trying to make some flavored plantain chips that are very delicious, one of a kind in this country. In fact, some of the flavors that we have are one of a kind in the entire world.
I'm in the kitchen of Sparks Food and Beverage Manufacturing startup at Bubuashi in Accra, owned by Derek Ano. He started a couple of years ago after graduating from uni. After experimenting with different flavors that would make plantain chips more appealing, he launched into mass production.
So after this is fried, you take it to the next stage where you are
where we do
what you call your trade secret.
Where we add all the magic, yes.
It changes the flavor of, so it's not the typical plantain.
It's not the typical plantain chips, because regularly what we have on our market is just salted plantain chips at best. So we decided to take it because it was, for us, a little boring. I know that people are used to it right now and we all love plantain chips as they are, but we decided to make it more flavored, more tasty, so that you would remember exactly your experience that you had as soon as you bit into one of our chips.
Meanwhile, law student Millicent Dodofoli only a few months ago started her Kelewele business. She was ardent to countless Kelewele sellers, and she knew she had to be different.
I needed to add some touch and a twist to it, so I thought of it and I was like, see, right now in Ghana everything is branding and packaging and how well you market yourself. So I decided to discuss with a friend of mine, a graphic designer. So I told him about how I wanted it packaged and all that. We discussed it and we made it happen. So I told him that we need to brand it. We are taking it to the car. Now this is Kelewele. It needs to be eaten hot. So how are we going to package it to preserve that heat in it for people to get it hot all the time? And we wanted to do away with polythene, plastics. You get it. We wanted to be eco-friendly.
The Kelewele, spiced with her own recipe, is wrapped in leaves and placed in a branded paper bag. That makes Kele Express stand out aside from its taste. Both entrepreneurs agree packaging makes a difference.
The first challenge with our domestic plantain chips was that usually over 90% of the time it's not packaged attractively. It's just to get by, something that you would be able to pick. So we decided, no, we have to add more value to this. It has to look attractive. You have to picture it. You have to, you know, appreciate what you are using your money to buy. So we decided to go big on the quality of the packaging. And so we had to work on it for a while. We had to pick colors that would depict the flavor. We had to design something with Ghana in mind, because we are very passionate about our country and we are very patriotic.
In 9 months, Millicent has been able to establish 5 sale points and can sell over 1,000 packs a day. But how did customers first react to the packaging?
There was an event at Accra Academy, and then they called us to serve them. Then we decided to use the leaves, and actually they liked it. So from there, I think it was 3rd week into the business when we started. So from there, we decided to go with the leaves, and people loved it way better than any other packaging.
Sparks is able to sell off between 8,000 to 12,000 boxes of products monthly when business is good. The startup needs funding to take the business to the next level. For Millicent and Kele Express, although there's been bumper harvest of plantains in recent times, she sometimes has to grapple with supply challenges from farms.
You know, initially we wake up at 4, go to the market, get the plantain. So then you can go there, the cars have not arrived. They'll tell you they didn't get plantain from the farmers and all that. And it was really expensive. It was like 3 times the price that we used to buy. And I was like, see, I can't quit either. So we just need to compromise and improvise something. So we look at the major areas that we sell, then we serve there, then the other ones we close them. So we add the team on ground to the new team, then we go to work.
For Derek, he says there are plans to export the products to other countries.
In the next 5 years, we want to be exporting about 70% of what we produce, and still with the 30% that we produce domestically, we want to be able to serve the domestic market, you know. So when I say the domestic market, I'm even taking it a little broader to look at West Africa, because in West Africa, plantain chips are big, coconut flakes very big, peanuts very huge.
But Millicent is pushing forward. She's planning to establish the biggest Kiliwili restaurant in the country. Perhaps time to take a second look at plantain production in the country and the potential revenue it could bring. And that's Business Live tonight. Thanks for watching. We are back same time tomorrow.